is Hannah Priore, and I know you're at this video right now because you want to learn more about the power of now. I'm actually chilling with my business partner, Mark Thompson. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody? You already know I'm a CEO and founder of the Top Tier, and we're here to kind of help you guys through some breakthroughs that we've been through ourselves, both in business and in life. And this is kind of what we're going to go through. Um, we're talking about the power of now, looking at the past and things that you've had to overcome, or things that you may need to overcome, and that's why you're here today. Some challenges you face, some failures that you may have had that are kind of holding you back, and now you come to this level again, and now you need to level up. You have to break through. You have to use those failures in the past as a tool and a resource for you to break through the wall that's in front of you this time. So that's what we're here to do for you today. Maybe we'll do it for ourselves today and learn some new things. Um, so that's what we're here to do. We're gonna be short. We're gonna be sweet. It's not gonna be too long. We're not gonna whatever. So let's go.
Let's do this.
All right.
So let me go ahead and say this. I mean, I want to start off by saying the whole no victim thing. You know, um, each and every single one of us has gone through so many different things in our life, and we all have a story if you want to think about it. I mean, we've all had a past, we've all had different things that we faced. I mean, I know for you, Mark, I know you've been through a lot, and I've been through a lot too. We have a lot of similarities as far as our past goes. And I mean, as far as discussing on the past real quick, um, I mean, there would be times in my life where I would be like, man, can I just fit in with my crowd, as far as and if I want to be specific, my family. It was to the point where I was like, man, I just feel so left out. I feel like, I don't even fit in, like, and it's like I would always get to that point where I was like, you know what, life just isn't how I want it to be. And even talking about family, if you want to talk about hanging out with the crowd that I was hanging out with, it's like what didn't happen? I mean, it's like I can't really think of something that I really haven't been through. Like, and for so many times in my life, I was going through this point where I was like, you know what? Maybe suicide is the best route. Maybe, taking my life away is the best route because I was very unhappy, and I think it's because a lot of issues that stemmed from my childhood. And I was like, I don't even know if I want to be here. And there was so many times where I contemplated suicide, where I was like, you know what, I don't see another route, and it's because my mind didn't know anything different. All I knew was that type of lifestyle. I mean, what about you, Mark? How do you feel about that?
That is crazy to be honest with you said that because I can relate so much, especially being adopted, being able to fit in with my family. There's times like, yeah, that's my family, like that's where I grew up, that's my environment. But at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm like, that's not blood. Do I really fit in? Do they really love me the way they say they do? I mean, yeah, they do. I know they do. But in the back of your head, you question whether I want to or whether I don't. And that kind of really went into my social life too. In high school, it was a very, very big time. As you can see, I'm like light skin, so I was very mixed. I'm on the border. I can fit into many crowds, so it always felt uncomfortable when I was in crowds because like I was accepted, but I wasn't fully accepted. And where I grew up, a lot of people did commit suicide, and it was hard for me to be able to see myself living past the age of 21, age of 20. I just didn't see it in the environment that I was in. It was like, it's just I could see that happening, and like I didn't have any expectations past that. And here I am now, complete different story, but it took a lot of changes in my life in order to do. It took a lot of things for me to go through to do that. It took a lot, like almost to the point of hitting that point, falling face down. But luckily, when I fell on my back where I could still look up. So that's kind of the reason why I didn't fall on my face. I fell on my ass, and I was able to still look up. And that right there was kind of like having your back against the wall, and it brought the animal out of me and got my ass up and pushing forward. Maybe not as fast as some people, maybe not as hard as some people, but I still got up, and now I'm still walking forward. It's just dope. But like growing up, high school, all them scenarios, and going to sit, like literally standing with my lunch tray, looking at the cafeteria. What table do I sit at? right now, type of thing. Like it literally came down. There was many days I can remember. Where do I sit right now? It's like I can sit anywhere, but where am I going to feel comfortable? Because I'm not going to feel comfortable anywhere. Though I am accepted everywhere, I'm not going to feel comfortable no matter where I sit. And it was hard. Like that's some hard shit to go through at a young age when you're trying to find yourself. You're a teenager. That's some difficult stuff to go through, and it took till after high school to later years, like once I hit 19, 20, 21, so I really started to feel comfortable in my own skin. Is really what happened, and it took a lot to go through, and I had to stop blaming myself. To be honest, I put a lot of it on my own self, which is tough. It really was. And here's why: it's because, like I said, I had to go through a lot. I had to come through a lot, and I had to use my past as a resource. I had to use my past as a tool to put me forward. I said, look, I can't change the past, really, straight up. So everybody should just learn from the past. That's kind of what I did. I used the past as a tool and as a resource, which as a learning tool, and this is how I can get forward. I looked at it as, instead of a disadvantage, as an advantage now. Because I went through that, I know I can get through this. Because I experienced that, nobody else is going to be able to get through this the way I can because I went through that. And when I had that mental shift, and I realized I have the power now that I thought I didn't have before. But it took that mental shift to give me that power. It took power up in here to give me that mental switch, because before, that same scenario, that same situation, that same thing was what stopped me and what broke me down, and I flipped it. And this is what's going to empower me and move me forward. And it was hard to do, but straight up, it was worth it. Of course it's worth it, because now I'm 21 and I never thought I'd make it this far. You know what I mean? So.
And I completely feel you because, I mean, think about it. If we didn't go through that, then how would we be the people that we are today? Like, we know that we're destined for greatness, just like every single one of you out there that's watching this. And it's like, if we don't go through these rough patches in our life, we're never going to be able to achieve greatness, because every single great leader has a struggle. They have a story to tell. So it's like, I think, what happened, Mark, is I think I got to that day. I think it was approximately about a year ago. And I was like, you know what? I need to make a decision. I'm either going to live, or because some people live, but they're not really alive. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I could say to that. It's like I was breathing, but I wasn't living. And I was like, you know what? I want to live. I want to know how it feels to live. And I made that decision. I snapped out of it. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stop being a victim. I'm going to learn how to be happy. And you know what? I'm going to be real with you. The first video that I watched to get me to that state was What the Bleep Do We Know? Shout out to What the Bleep Do We Know, because that movie is phenomenal. I had seen The Secret a couple years back, but, I was still, it didn't really register to me. So after I watched that movie, I realized that, our thoughts are what actually makes our feelings and how we react and how we respond to things. It's because of our neural nets that we have inside our mind. So, just to be simple about it, it's kind of like, it's easy for us to say, that person did that to us. You know what I mean? Because I know I would always do that. I'd be like, that person hurt me, or I hurt that person, or, like, always play that victim role. But it's like, once we step out of that victim role, I think that's when we can really know who we're supposed to be. Because if you're always putting it on somebody else, when is it ever going to be your fault? I mean, the real truth is, if we want to be completely honest, the real truth is, we define and we allow whatever happens to us because of us. And, I know, dude, it's so easy to be able to be like, that person just treated me like crap. You know what I mean? And it's like, now, ever since I started getting to that point in my life where I was like, you know what, I want to be the best me. When something happens, because, dude, things always happen still. But it's like when something happens, I take a step back and I'm like, you know what? What's really going on? You know what I mean? Like, did I do something to cause that? Obviously I did. You know, obviously I attracted that into my life. And we could go into that for like 10 hours just about attracting things into our life because you know that's what we talk about all the time.
For
But
real.
it's like I think once you finally realize, getting back to the power of now, once you realize that the power is actually in this present moment. We have everything that we need right now. It's not before, it's not later. We have it right now. And if we could just tap into that and realize that everything we want is here, but it's a matter of, are we conscious of it? How do
It
you
has,
feel about that?
it has to be here if you think about it. Because what is here is what brings you to the future. If you think about like the movie, I know we've all heard of the butterfly effect, and if you haven't, it's basically like a movie of chain reactions type of thing. And I know you guys can understand that, but it's like in order to get there, something has to happen right here. So yeah, you may not have what you do have what you need in order to get there because you can't that wouldn't be there unless it was right here. I mean, I wouldn't able to get to where I am right now. Where I am right now, I wouldn't be able to like I never regret anything in my past. I've been through some shit. I've made some bad decisions. But at the end of the day, they were great decisions. I wouldn't change them for the world because I wouldn't be where I am right here, right now. All the debt I am in from college. Some people say, "Oh, you're in a lot of debt," or all the decisions I've made. Some people may have fucked up criminal records. Some people may have really bad debt. Some people may have
That's real.
made mistakes. Maybe they had children at too young of an age, but you wouldn't be the person you were today if it wasn't for those things in the past. And it's because of those actions is why you have the power today to do things later on or do things in the future. So you have the power now because of the things you did in the past. You wouldn't have had that power right now if it wasn't for those things you did in the past. You need to own it. Instead of using it to break you down, be like, you know what? I wouldn't be who I am right now. I'm proud of who I am right now because the person who I am right now is the person who's going to bring me forward to the future. You gotta own that and be and that's power. Like that's the power of now. Straight up is knowing that because of this moment right now, I know there's going to be something tomorrow. And if you're at one of those points where I've been at, and I know you just said you've been at, where there may not be a tomorrow right now, and I have that power now to make that decision, and that shit's hard.
Mm.
And a lot of people do go through that, sadly, and it's through all different types of circumstances and situations. It's different and unique for every single person. But even then, it's that power of now and the decision that you're going to make right now, the mindset that you have right now. It's the power of right now is what determines kind of like the butterfly effect of the future, and it's kind of where do you want your future to go. You have the power to make it and alter it right now.
And I mean, even to piggyback on that, think about it. I mean, because we already lived in the past for, I don't even know how long. Like, I mean, me personally, I'm 27, so I've already lived 27 years of that life. Why would I still even want to think about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's already been plenty of years. What would be the purpose? What am I gaining from staying in that particular moment? You know what I'm saying? As preferred to living here in this exact moment. Because this is where the real magic happens. This is where your life actually starts to change right now. Like, this is it. So, and another thing is that you start attracting people that are like-minded. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I think that's the beautifulest thing about it because I remember for a long point in time, they say misery loves company. So if you're a miserable person, what type of people do you think you're attracting? You know what I mean? But it's like now, man, I attract beautiful people. I attract so many like-minded people, people that
Tough
are
move.
in
Straight
God,
up.
the law of attraction, quantum physics, so many different people. And it's because I've positioned myself into being here. And that's why we had to talk about the power of now today, because we've been talking about this numerous times and we had to get it out there. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, that's true, the law of attraction, and you had to position yourself. You couldn't say that even perfect. That's a chess move. And that's how we met is through law of attraction and where we positioned ourselves in wherever.
Real talk, real talk.
That's how that came up. So
Let
that's
me let me say this too. I have this little coin right here, right? Now, the reason why I bring up this coin is because if you want to live in the power of now, sometimes it's good to have something on you. It could be just maybe a chain or necklace or even your own coin or whatever you want it to be. But once it's kind of like carry it with you, put it in your pocket and feel it. And then it's all right. So, for instance, say if you're talking to one of your friends or whatever, or you're talking to one of your family members, and you guys start talking about the past so much, feel the coin, feel something that you have on you, and remind yourself, like, oh yeah, crap, why am I thinking inside my head so much from in the past? Reposition yourself to be here right now, because this is where the real magic happens. If you need to remind yourself, which you most likely will, keep something on you to remind you. That is a very powerful thing. I know that Mark does that too. How do you feel about that?
It actually reminds me of the movie Inception. It's how they knew when they were in the Inception, or they had the, a lot of them had the little dreidel and it just kept spinning, and that's when they knew when that thing never stopped spinning is when they were in the Inception, or the levels deep, or it wasn't reality. It wasn't now. It wasn't real life. However you look at real life, and it's kind of like I told them, some people wear a cross, and maybe that's for multiple different reasons, but that is one. Sometimes you just see people just grab it like this and just feel it. I know I do. I could go into a crazy story that I had yesterday, and I just grabbed my necklace and I just sat there and prayed because I knew shit was going down right now. And that's a crazy story. I could spend a whole other time on that. I really don't want to go over again, but
And it's like, guys, I want to tell you that make sure to keep yourself connected to people that are going to inspire you. You
yeah,
don't have time for any type of negativity. Look, I understand a lot of things have happened to you in the past because everything has happened to every single one of us. But choose today, choose right now to get to that point in your life where you're like, you know what, enough is enough. I'm moving on. I'm going to go ahead and live in this present moment. I'm going to align and start attracting myself to people such as these here right now that are going to benefit my life. Go ahead and keep in contact with us on Facebook. My name is Hannah Priore. What about you, Mark?
Mark Anthony Thompson, simple as that.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
All right, guys. Power is in now. So today is today. Do what you got to do with it. You know what you have to do. We don't have to tell you. Thank you. Thank you, Hannah, actually.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your friendship. I really appreciate you.
Great.
And I want to let you guys know thank you for taking the time out to believe in yourself. Because if you didn't believe in yourself, you wouldn't be here right now. There's something inside of you that is telling you that there's something missing and you need to change some particular circumstances that you're going on with. So constantly stay connected with us, see what else we have going on, because I promise you, this is just a little preview. Trust me.
All right, guys. We out.